Well, the S&P just fumbled about 24 points of its gains. Looks like it's very close to the flat line. Guess what is starting to work, although suddenly it's turned around, Peter, and that's gold. Peter Schiff of Euro Pacific back with us, although it's getting closer to 1,200. What's going on?
Well, gold's really in a perfect position right here. It's already rallied $150 approximately since the day after the Fed hiked rates. But right now you've got two possibilities. One, if the Fed continues to pretend that it's getting ready to raise rates again, or actually raises rates, then the stock market's going to keep falling, and gold's going to benefit from the flight to safety bid that's been driving it recently. On the other hand, if the Fed tries to save the stock market and calls off the rate hikes or cuts rates back to zero, which I think they're going to do, now gold really takes off,
well,
because the whole story driving gold lower.
We're showing the Spider Gold Trust. In just a week, it's gone from about 109 to 114. Are you saying that that trajectory continues? Because, listen, there have been bad pieces of news over the past couple of months, and yet gold still seemed to be languishing a bit until recently.
Well, I think it's going to continue. And as I said, if the Fed has to admit that rate hikes aren't coming, then gold's going to take off, because the entire case for selling gold for the past few years has been predicated on the Fed normalizing interest rates. If they admit they can't do that, if we're back at zero again, if people realize that we're trapped in this monetary roach motel forever, it's QE infinity, then there's nothing to ever restrain the price of gold, and it's going to take off. Meanwhile, you've got a lot of people short gold, and I think they're going to get crushed when this market reverses, and it becomes very, very difficult to cover those shorts because there's not a lot of physical gold around.
And for those who missed what Yellen said today, I was taking notes, and here's what jumped out at me. Growth since the crisis is disappointing. Okay, we knew that. And we should look at negative rates, this seemed bizarre to me, in the spirit of prudent planning. Translate that for our viewers.
Well, first of all, there's nothing prudent about negative rates, but the fact that they're considering it means it's going to happen. I mean, what the Fed should do is rule it out outright, because it doesn't work. It's not working in Japan. It's not working in Europe. In fact, it's backfiring. Look what's happening to the European banks. They're getting crushed because of negative rates. So the Fed should rule it out. But look, they are desperate. They're trying everything they can to delay the day of reckoning. But the problem is, because they delayed it so long, we have a lot more to reckon with.
Who's your candidate, Peter? I know you were supporting Rand Paul. He's not in it anymore. Tell us who your candidate will be now for president.
Yeah, you know, he was my only candidate, so I don't know if I have a candidate. You know, Gary Johnson is going to be running as a libertarian, so he might be my guy. I don't know if there's anybody else I could philosophically get behind. But we'll see. I'm still reserving judgment.
I'm only laughing because I love that you are consistent. There's Peter for you, totally consistent. Peter, thank you. Thank you so much for joining us. Peter Schiff, Euro Pacific Capital President.